What is snapping Collector Called? It's Collector Tyrant here again today with a top 10 Funko Pop video. Now in the last week I've bought some product. I've got some product coming to my house. Unfortunately, it hasn't arrived on time for the last week or two, so I had to resort to a top 10. There's nothing wrong with that. That usually happens with YouTubers. So today I'll be covering what Funko Pops I'd like to see, or I think that we should have available to any Funko Pop collectors out there. Now this is subjective, guys, this is my own personal opinion, so you guys might agree or might disagree with the top 10 I've brought to you guys today. So let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see when it comes to Funko Pops that hasn't been made yet, or any franchises that you think that should be available in some sort of Funko Pop vinyl form. Let me know in the comments. But anyway guys, here's the top 10, stick around for this and get comfortable, so let's get into it. Alright guys, starting off for number 10 is Final Fantasy. Now Final Fantasy is a franchise that is well known in the gaming community. It's a quite established RPG that's been around for 20 years plus, longer. There's a ton of games and a ton of characters to cover. I really don't think they would be able to do a whole full range on all the games and stuff. I think they had to narrow it down to like possibly one game. But one game that comes to mind that I reckon they could cover a ton of characters with is Final Fantasy Dissidia. We have all the main characters from the games that are good and all the bad ones as well, all the evil characters. I think this would be a good stepping stone into any fans out there who want to get their hands on some Funko Pops from Final Fantasy. I really think this game would cover quite a lot of the popular characters, and I really think that's a good way they could probably do this. Personally myself, I would really like to see a Squall or a Tidus, Kefka, Sephiroth as well. That'd be some really awesome Funko Pops, I think. This is only just wish listing, guys, but it's a possibility given that they bring out the Kingdom Hearts Funko Pops, and I really do think we may see some of these guys come up in the future when it comes to Funko Pops. So that's number 10, guys, Final Fantasy. I'd really like to see some. Funko Pop, if you're watching, get on it. But enough about that, we're going to move on to number 9 now. Alright, so up for number 9, I'd really like to see some Lost World and Jurassic Park 3 Funko Pops. Now, I know we already have the Jurassic Park ones, and we have one of the, I think it was the Fallen Kingdom that came out. And I honestly do think with this new movie coming out, Dominion, when it does come out after all this coronavirus stuff and it does finally get made, I really do think we're going to get a new range for that movie as well. It just makes sense. People are going to be interested to pick up the Funko Pops and buy them. I really do think we're going to see a new range from the new movie, but I'd really like to see some older stuff like The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3. One thing I can think of right now is the Velociraptor in the tiger color scheme, like the orange and black stripes. I really think that'd be a nice looking Velociraptor for a Funko Pop. Maybe done in a different pose. Possibly a greener Tyrannosaurus for the Bull Rex. I really think that'd be a nice thing. I'd like to see the Spinosaurus from Jurassic Park 3 as well. I really think that brings something different to the Jurassic range that we have available to us. And one thing that does come to mind right now, I'd really like to see Indominus Rex too. We have not seen an Indominus Rex. I really think that'd be another Funko Pop in general that would actually be a good thing to see. Whether or not they'll do it, I don't know, but we'll soon find out. I do have a prediction that we will be seeing the brand new movie with a brand new set of Funko Pops. But whether we'll see a Lost World or Jurassic Park 3, the possibility of that actually happening is probably quite slim, but here's the wish listing, right? Alright, so moving on to number 8, and number 8 is Sopranos. Alright, so everyone thinks of the best TV show, the most popular TV show ever been made by HBO, and that is Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones does have a massive Funko Pop range, we all know that. Probably one of the biggest ones out there, other than the Star Wars and Dragon Ball Z, dare I say. But to me, Sopranos was one of those shows that was just so well done. It was a masterpiece for its time. Now, given that they're mainly human characters, me myself, everyone should know I'm not really into the normal human type looking Funko Pops, like things with like masks and weird hairdos and stuff. But I think when it comes down to like certain TV shows I like Vikings for example, I do pick these Funko Pops up because they mean something to me, and it's just something to have in a collection because Funko Pop is Funko Pop after all. I think if they brought out Sopranos, I think I would definitely pick up the whole lot. And I honestly don't know why they haven't done this. Sopranos was the biggest show for its time, and then Game of Thrones took the mantle there, and I really think that they would sell still to this day. I mean, there's some really good characters in there. Tony Soprano, you got Christopher, Paulie, all those really cool characters that I just think that people would just like. I think a Funko Pop of Paulie would look really sick, like with the slick silver sides on his hair, and possibly in like a sweatsuit that he wears and stuff. I just think they could pull it off really good. Once again, I don't know if we're going to see this because Sopranos is quite an old show. It's been out for a long time. It came out in the 90s. 99, I think it was first released. So it has been a long time since Sopranos has been in the spotlight. But in saying that, they did bring out Funko Pops for The Godfather. So there is hope in the future, guys. So yeah, guys, that's number 8 for me, Sopranos. I'd really love to see this TV show in Funko Pop form. Alright, up next for number 7, we have Saving Private Ryan. Once again, a much older movie from the 90s, late 90s, and I just would really like to see a Funko Pop range from this franchise. I have mentioned this before in one of my videos. I just think it'd be nice to see something like this. It was a classic film, won a couple of Oscars, very popular for its time. Not to mention it's kind of historical as well, you know, with World War II being the main topic here. And I myself am a massive fan of history, mainly modern history and ancient history and stuff like that. I myself would just love to see some Funko Pops from World War II. I just like the aesthetics of that time, like all the gear that the guys wore, the guns, the tanks, all the technology from that time. I have a massive interest in. I think that Saving Private Ryan will be a really good step into this. Either that or Band of Brothers. That was another thing I was going to mention too. But yes, guys, Saving Private Ryan is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. It'd be kind of cool to have a Funko Pop or one or two of those guys in that movie. Once again, I don't think we're going to see this one because I just feel like it's not enough supply and demand now. The movie is quite old, and maybe it's a bit of a touchy subject, possibly turning something so horrific that was World War II into something like a Funko Pop figure, I guess. That's one thing I'll say right now. I don't think that those two meld well together. That makes sense. But who knows, Funko Pop has been pushing out a lot of classic movies lately, and it's possible that we might see this franchise down the track. Who knows? Alright, for number 6, we're going to go with more Viking Funko Pops. Now, Vikings is a series I'm quite fond of. I did a review on some of the Volta Funko Pops they brought out way back. I actually have the total of those in my collection already. One thing I did mention in that video is that I felt that Vikings didn't really bring out enough characters from the TV show. And in my opinion on this is that they brought out the Funko Pop range much too early, before Vikings really started peaking as a TV show. And what I'm finding now is these Viking Funko Pops that they did bring out are very sought after Funko Pops. I'd really like to see a second wave of these. I just think that they need to do this, because I feel like this TV show is still going. You know, it's got a ton of characters that they could use from the TV show, and I feel like it would definitely still sell. I just feel like Ragnar's sons, like Bjorn and Ivor the Boneless and stuff like that, even if it's only just 4 Funko Pops they released for the second wave. When they did bring the original range out, I feel like no one was really interested in it at the time, and that's why they didn't sell well. But I think right now, they would sell a lot better than what they did when they first released their first wave. But once again, this is a wish listing list of top 10, so I don't think we're going to see any more Vikings, but if we do, you know what, I'd be definitely picking them up. Alright, for number 5, something a little bit different, and this is Abe's Oddworld. Now, a few of you probably know this franchise, and a few of you probably don't. It did go on a bit of a hiatus for a while there, because the original owner sort of had a bit of financial problems, I do believe. But when PlayStation first came out in the 90s, guys, there was 3 poster boys I could think of for the PlayStation, and that was Spyro the Dragon, Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, and Abe from Abe's Oddworld. As well as that skeleton knight looking guy from Medieval, that's another one I could think of too. Those 3 there were the most recognizable characters when it comes to PlayStation 1. But Abe's from Abe's Oddworld was a very popular character, and I do believe there's a new game coming out quite soon, so I think it'd be a perfect opportunity for Funko Pop to start pumping out some Oddworld Funko Pops. I really do think it'd be interesting. There's a ton of fans out there who like this game. It's a classic game. Interesting character designs. In my opinion, Abe's Oddworld has some of the most well-designed characters and monsters in any gaming franchise. It's just some really weird looking things that worked, and I think as a Funko Pop they look really original. I really like to see a range from Abe's Oddworld, guys. That's one thing I definitely want to see. Once again, I have no clue if this will ever happen, but if it does, I'd be super stoked to definitely pick up some of these Funko Pops from this franchise. It's definitely a really interesting one. So yeah, here's the wish listing once again. Alright, up next we have number 4, and this is something that's been talked about before, you know, and this is Mario, or even Nintendo in general, Nintendo characters. Very, very popular franchise. You got Mario, you got Donkey Kong, you got Yoshi, you got tons of characters from Nintendo. Now we already have Amiibos, which are these weird sort of vinyl figures that Nintendo did bring out, and they can activate certain things on games and stuff like that. I don't know if this would contradict with those things, with Funko bringing out their own figures and stuff like that, but I really think that there's definitely a ton of cash waiting to be made from this franchise. I already mentioned a few characters already before. I personally would like to see a Wario Funko Pop. They're going to be pretty dope. Now, I honestly think they might go down this track eventually, because in my head when I started this hobby about 5 years ago, when I started collecting Funko Pops, I honestly did not think they'd ever bring out Pokemon, but they did bring out Pokemon, so it's a possibility that this is up in the air at the moment. I have a feeling that Funko Pop might get its hands on the license, and it might get its opportunity to make these Funko Pops. So once again, this is another one that probably stands out as a possibility more than the other ones. It's something I definitely want to see in the future, so once again, here's the wish listing. Alright, up next we have Dragon Ball GT. Now I know what you guys are thinking, possibly all you Dragon Ball fans out there. GT wasn't the best TV show to come out for the Dragon Ball franchise, but it had some really, really interesting characters. And we got Super Saiyan 4, Vegeta, and Goku. That's something I definitely want to see. I think I've seen a few concepts out there of these Funko Pops already, and they look really awesome. I really think that they need to make these Funko Pops. I know, as I said, I know it wasn't the most popular Dragon Ball Z franchise out there, or Dragon Ball franchise, sorry. Given that they've been pumping out so much Super, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball Z in general, I really think it wouldn't hurt them to bring out a small range, just like they did with the Dragon Ball Funko Pops. I think it was only Goku and Bulma, I think, that came out for Dragon Ball, but even though they just brought out 2 Funko Pops of Vegeta and Goku in the Super Saiyan 4, I think this would sell. And I myself actually really enjoy GTs. I really like to see some of these Funko Pops in my collection at some point, but as I said, we'll soon find out if they get down that road. But I honestly think there's a massive possibility that they'll actually eventually do this, because Funko Pop is definitely milking the Dragon Ball franchise. They're just getting everything out of it, so I have a feeling we might see some of these down the track. But once again, time will tell. Alright, up next, you guys probably will not even know what this franchise is, but it's something I really enjoy, because I really like the aesthetics of some of the characters in this franchise, and that is War Machine and Hordes from Privateer Press. Now, a lot of you are probably going, what the fuck is this shit? I have no clue what you're talking about, Tyrant. Which is fine, that's totally fine. As I said, this is my top 10, so it's something I wanted to talk about. But a lot of people probably know about the Warhammer franchise, or Games Workshop franchise, the ones who made the little models that you play with, and there's a lot of lore behind that franchise as well. Now, Privateer Press, who makes War Machines and Hordes, is Games Workshop's, or Warhammer's competitors. Basically, when it comes down to models and stuff like that, they're basically the second, probably the third competitor to Games Workshop, with the second one probably being Infinity when it comes to like the little tabletop miniatures. Like right now, the franchise is nowhere near as big as like Games Workshop's Warhammer and stuff like that. It's nowhere near that big, and not many people really know about it. I mean, there's a ton of people in America who do play this game, and it has made its way into Europe and Australia and stuff like that, but I would not compare it on the same level as Warhammer 40k or something like that. But to me, some of the characters are so well made in this game. For example, we have the Troll Bloods, we have things like the Scorn and stuff like that. Some really nice characters that I really like to see as a Funko Pop. I don't think we're going to get it ever. I really don't think we're ever going to see this ever happen. But, you know, maybe another 20 years time, if Funko Pop's still pushing out Funko Pops, I'm sure they'll get to that point where they need to scrape at the bottom of the barrel, maybe. But as I said, there's some really nice designs in the models and characters and monsters in this franchise, and I think it'd be kind of cool to have a Funko Pop of them. But I have a feeling this is never going to happen, but that's alright. That's just me dreaming about it, and I just thought I'd add it to the list. But anyway, we're going to move on to my last one now, and this one's something that's been quite popular lately, guys. You all know about this thing. You all know about this specific topic, and that is Tiger King. I honestly think Tiger King needs some Funko Pops. I've seen a few people actually make their own online recently. Now, if you haven't seen the actual documentary yet on Netflix, you should probably go check it out. It's ridiculous. Like, I can't believe that stuff like this actually is real, guys. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, there's actually, when you watch it, you have no clue that this is actually a real story and feud between all these tiger keeping people. And I really think it was a ridiculous, in a good way and bad, documentary. And just for meme's sake, I just think it'd be cool to do a review on these Funko Pops. I honestly think it'd just be hilarious. Like, and I really do think this is actually a massive possibility that they're going to be doing this, given that the popularity of it at the time. I just think that Funko Pop will get their hands on this franchise. If it even is a franchise, I wouldn't even call it that, but yeah, I have a feeling that they're going to get their hands on it and bring it out. Just for meme's sake, I just have a feeling that it's definitely put itself in the spotlight when it comes to internet culture, and I do think a lot of people would pick these up just for the shits and giggles, I guess you want to call it. But that's something I really like to see too, guys. I want to see some Tiger King just so I can do a review on it and have a bit of a laugh, to be quite honest. But anyway, guys, that's a bit of a quick top 10 for you. I'm sorry if you guys were waiting on reviews or Pokemon cards or any sort of stuff like that. As I said, we're waiting on some stuff. I sort of scrambled this video together in the last minute for you guys for the weekend. But anyway, guys, let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see as a Funko Pop franchise. I'd really like to hear from you. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Go check the channel out if you're new and see if you want to subscribe. That's totally your choice. Up to you if you do or don't. But anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it with you for the weekend, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend. And I'll see you in the next one. Alright, click the sign out.